Ebusua mechiachia mo nyinaa megidi se obia ho ye. Erade adom me so me ho ye. So today I want us to continue with our tenses series. So far we've looked at the simple present tense. If you missed that, I'll leave a link up here. But just to recap, I told you that we use the regular original forms of chief verbs to convey actions and events within the present state. Okay, so any chief verb that you know of, or if you don't, if you check out learnacandictionary.com, any chief verb that you come by, the raw form of that verb is what we typically use to convey actions and events within the present state. And then we moved on to the simple past tense, and I told you we have different ways of forming the simple past tense of chief verbs depending on two broad variables. So number one was the type of verb in question. So what verb are you forming the past tense of? And number two was the environment where you find, that particular verb. All right. So for the first lesson under the simple past tense, I told you if you come by a chief verb within an environment where it is being directly followed by an object or an adverbial, then you form its past tense simply by doubling the final letter of that particular verb. Okay, so di becomes di, su becomes sun, da becomes da, te becomes te, and on and on. All right, so that was the first lesson under the simple past tense. If you missed that, there's a link up here to that. Now, for the second lesson under the simple past tense, I told you that if you come by a chief verb that is not being followed by an object nor an adverbial, like in the first one, then you form its past tense by attaching to the end of that particular verb either e or a, which in sound is actually a, okay, a. So you attach either e or a to the end of that particular chief verb, and then you have its past tense form. And then for the choice between the e and the a, so the question of whether you should choose, the e or the a to attach to a particular verb to form its past tense, I told you that is not arbitrary at all, and that you just have to look at the final vowel of that particular verb, the verb that you are forming the past tense of. Just look at the final vowel of that particular verb. If that vowel is either an e or an u, then you choose e to attach to, that verb to form its past tense. Okay, so hunu becomes hunuye, di becomes diye, sun becomes sunye, and on. Okay, but then if the final vowel of that particular verb is neither an e nor an u, so any other vowel for that matter, then you attach a, which in sound I'm saying is a, you attach it to the end of that verb, and then you have its past tense. All right. So sere becomes sereye, te becomes teye, fa becomes faye, and on and on. And that was our second lesson under the simple past tense. Again, if you missed it, there's a link up here. Please go and check it out, okay? It's very important that you take all the previous lessons under the tenses series before you come to the present one. Very important, okay? Now, following from this second lesson of ours, I raised a question in the third lesson under the simple past tense, which was actually our last lesson in the tenses series. I'll link that too up here, okay? Now, the question was, what if the verb in question does not end in a vowel in the first place? Okay, so the second lesson under the simple past tense presupposed that the verb in question has to end in a vowel first for us to choose between either the e or the a to form its past tense if it's not being followed by an object or an adverbial, right? So we said we attach either e or a to the end of that particular verb depending on the final vowel of that particular verb, all right? Such that if the final vowel of that verb is either an e or an u, then we attach e to the end to form its past tense. But then if the final vowel is neither an e nor an u, then we attach a to form its past tense. So this presupposes that the verb in question has to end in a vowel first for us to choose between the two suffixes, okay? So the question was, what if the verb does not end in a vowel? How then do you form the past tense of that particular verb if it's not being followed by an object nor an adverbial? And to answer that question, first, I told you that Twi words typically do not end in consonants. So generally speaking, you find that Twi words do not end in consonants. So I told you, apart from the nasals, and then the semi-vowel w, you will find that Twi words typically will end in vowels and not the hard consonants. And this is the case for Twi words in general. But even for these three letters, I told you that, yes, we are talking about Twi words in general, but if you are looking specifically to Twi verbs, then personally, I don't even know of a Twi verb that ends in the semi-vowel w. Okay, so I told you that in Akuapem Twi, there are countless verbs that end in w, like Cyril, Chirel, and all those. But for Asante Twi, which is what we are teaching here, I personally do not know of any Asante Twi verb that ends in the semi-vowel w, which meant we're left with just these two, the nasals, and then So the question now became, if you come by a Twi verb that is not being followed by an object nor an adverbial and does not end in a vowel, but ends in any of these two nasals, or then how do you form its past tense? And to recap that, I told you that if you come by a Twi verb that is not being followed by an object nor an adverbial, and it does not end in a vowel, but ends in any of these two nasals, or then you just have to look at the vowel that comes before this final or If that vowel is either an E or an U, then you attach to the end of that particular verb E-E-A to form its past tense. Okay? So dum becomes dumiye, tim becomes timiye, and on, okay? But then if the vowel that comes before this final or is neither an E nor an U, then you attach to the end of that particular verb e, okay, to form its past tense. So pim becomes pimiye, ton becomes toniye, and on. And this brings us to today's lesson. And today we are looking at how to form the past tense of our to-be verbs, as well as some stative verbs. Okay, so the to-be verb forms that we've been looking at, there's a link up here to the whole playlist. Please go and check it out if you haven't, all right? So those to-be verb forms, we are going to look at how to form their past tense, as well as the past tense forms of, some stative verbs, all right? Now, we do not form the past tense of our to-be verbs the same way as we form the past tense of the other verbs. Okay, so the rules that we've given so far for the formation of the simple past tense of the other verbs, none of those rules apply when it comes to our to-be verbs, okay, and some, stative verbs of ours. None of them applies. So no matter where you find a to-be verb, you cannot, for example, double the final letter to form its past tense like we did in the first one. No. Okay, so if you take the to-be verb yeah, for example, you cannot say yeah to be the past tense form of that to-be verb. You can't, okay? And you can't also attach e-air or e-air to it to form the past tense. No. So we form their past tense differently, but it's very simple, very easy. All you have to do is to bring na, okay, na, before that to-be verb and its subject. Okay, so not just the to-be verb, you bring na before the subject plus the to-be verb. So let me give you an example. If I say meye ochirechireni, right? Meye ochirechireni, I am a teacher. So the to-be verb here is ye. If I want to say I was a teacher, I'll just bring na before the subject and the to be verb. And then I have na meye ochirechireni. Na meye ochirechireni. So please take note. Do not bring the na before the verb. No, bring it before the verb plus its subject. Okay? So we have na meye ochirechireni. Okay? Na meye ochirechireni. Another example in the present tense, we can say meyere ye kwadwofo. Meyere ye kwadwofo in the present tense. In the past tense, we'll have na meyere ye kwadwofo. Na meyere ye kwadwofo. So you see how I bring the na before the subject plus the to be verb. Okay? Na meyere ye kwadwofo. We can move on to the other to be verb forms. So the second to be verb that we had was the war, which I told you is the location stroke existence to be verb. If you missed that, please, there's a link up here. It's important that you check it out, okay? So in the present tense, I can say mewo fie. Mewo fie, I am home, okay? Mewo fie. In the past tense, I'll say na mewo fie. Na mewo fie, okay? Na mewo fie. Another example that we looked at in that lesson was enidasoɔ wɔ hɔ. Enidasoɔ wɔ hɔ. And this is in the present tense, enidasoɔ wɔ hɔ. In the past tense, I'll say na enidasoɔ wɔ hɔ. Na enidasoɔ wɔ hɔ. So I will not double the final letter and say enidasoɔ wɔ hɔ. No, there's nothing like that. So you just bring na before the subject and the verb, and then you have na enidasoɔ wɔ hɔ. Let's use the next to be verb form to demonstrate this, and that is te. Te. And I told you this is the stative to be verb form, and that we use this typically to talk about states. Okay, states. So for this one, in the present tense, we could have an example like etisa. Okay, etisa. But in the past tense, I'll say na etisa. Na etisa. Okay, na etisa. So the very common question of what to say, okay, what to say, which is in the present tense, I'm asking what to say, right? In the past, I'll say na what to say. Na what to say. Okay, and moving on to the next to be verb form, we have de. De. And this to be verb form we use to talk about names. Okay, so it's like saying to be named. All right, to be named something, to be named that. Okay, so for this one, I could say mede yao. Mede yao. This is in the present tense. In the past tense, so if I want to say I was, I used to be called Yao. Maybe now I'm no more Yao, God forbid. Then I'll say na mede Yao. Na mede Yao. All right. So I will not say mede Yao. No, please don't do that. So just bring na before the subject and the verb, and you have it. Na mede Yao. So for another example, we can have me nana din de kwabena. Me nana din de kwabena. And this is in the present tense. My grandfather's name is Kwabena. Okay? But in the past, let's say my grandfather passed on, right? But I'm telling you, he was called, okay? He used to be called this, Kwabena, okay? So for that, I'll say, na menana din de Kwabena. Na menana din de Kwabena. So as you can see, for all the to be verb forms, if you want to form the past tense, just bring na before the subject plus the to be verb, and then you have it. Very simple. Now, this way of forming the past tense extends beyond the to be verbs to some stative verbs. Okay, some stative verbs. So non-action verbs. So verbs that convey states, all right, as contrasted with actions. So if I say kick, for example, kick, slap, and all those are action verbs, right? But then verbs like to know, okay, to know, that does not convey an action. It conveys a state of knowing, okay? To want, for example, to want is a state. It's not an action, right? So I'm saying that this way of, bringing the na before the subject plus the to be verb to form its past tense extends beyond the to be verb forms to some stative verbs in Chi. And I'm going to give you a few of those examples. For the first one, we have the verb nim, which is to know, okay? Nim, to know. So in the present tense, I'll say minim, right? Minim. In the past tense, please do not make the mistake of doubling the final letter to say minim or adding ee to the end to say nimiye. No, please don't do that. So to form the past tense of this, you bring na before the subject plus the verb, just as we did with the to be verbs. Okay, so I will say na minim. Na minim. Okay, na minim. Another stative verb that we can apply this to is the to have verb. Wo. Wo. Okay, to have. Wo. There's a dedicated lesson on this verb. It's up here. So we have wo, to have, right? Now, I can say me wo sika in the present tense, right? Me wo sika, I have money. Me wo sika. Please, in the past, do not double the final letter and say me wo sika. No. In the past tense, just bring na before the subject plus the verb, and you have na me wo sika. Na me wo sika. Another stative verb that we can apply this to is pe. Pe, to like or to want, okay? So I can say in the present tense, me pe, enijie, okay? Me pe, enijie, right? But in the past tense, I'll say, na me pe, enijie. Na me pe, enijie, all right? Na me pe, enijie. So these are some of the stative verbs that we do apply this past tense formation rule to, that I have readily available. Let me add that because I'm sure there are others, but for now, these are what I have. And as and when I get more, I'm going to update it in the accompanying lesson on our website. So please be on the lookout for that. But for now, just note that for all our to be verb forms, as well as the stative verbs that we've looked at, you do not form their past tense by, for example, doubling the final letter. Please don't do that, okay? And you don't form their past tense by attaching er or ar to the end. No matter where you find it, don't do that. You just bring na before the verb plus its subject, and that will situate it within the past frame, okay? This is where we end today's lesson. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is a good time to do so. And I hope to see you next time. It's bye for now.